This summer, you may be looking to take a trip with your family without having to go too far. This one-tank trip is a little different than the past few. It's more about relaxing than the hustle and bustle. Meteorologist Tavian Whitehurst takes us to Roan Mountain in Upper East Tennessee, where he found a lot more than just trails.
I'm here on Round Bald on Carver's Gap, right between the North Carolina-Tennessee line. Behind me, you can see the North Carolina side in the Blue Ridge Mountains. In front of me, we've got Upper East Tennessee and the Great Smoky Mountains. Now, these mountains are one of the big attractors that bring people into the area, but I'm going to show you that there's just as much to experience at the base of the mountain as there is up on the tops. The town of Roan Mountain is an unassuming spot along Route 19 East, but it's a tight-knit community that's just as closely connected with nature. What are some of the big parts of living in this town?
Hiking and hunting. The Roan Highlands up here, people come from all over the world. Forces you to remind you have to stop and look around and go, it's amazing here.
There are two communities that have formed here in Roan Mountain, the locals and the hikers. They're two different representations of living in the mountains that complement each other well.
Most hikers get that community. The locals wanting to help out, wanting to get to know how your adventure and journey's going. They live vicariously through them.
And there are places that these groups can join together. Spots like Mountain Harbor Bed and Breakfast. Owner David Hill and his team have worked for a decade to turn the farm into a rest and relaxation haven. Many say their food is the best in town and the whole Appalachian Trail.
Last night the special was a Reuben and fries, and I came down here still sweaty, dirty, gross, threw my pack off and got a blue moon right away. I mean, the hiking is great, of course I love the hiking or I wouldn't be out here, but these tend to be the best days. Chill, relax, hang out with other hikers, air dry all your stuff.
And speaking of food, there's no shortage of deliciousness around here. There's pizza, Mexican, and some sleep-inducing barbecue that we had for lunch. But what really jolts this town to life is the Rhododendron Festival at the end of June. Over 100,000 attendees patronize over 100 vendors that range from fair food to art to handmade artisans set up in Roan Mountain State Park. Melanie Ellis-Avgene is a local print and gift maker, but she's also a native who found her way back home. This festival is a way to connect to her local legacy.
This is my dad. My dad loved to fish, so he's a fly fisherman, and he passed last year, so we honor him that way. My grandparents were both school teachers here, and I use Ellis when I go to an event, and every single time someone will say, your grandmother was my favorite teacher, or your grandfather whacked my knuckles one too many times, or something. But it's just cool to have a history in a place.
If you're trying to catch rhododendrons in bloom, it's a tight window. They bloom for a 2-week-long period at the end of June, and it's totally dependent on weather conditions. Too much heat, cold, wind, or rain could wipe them out. This year, the famous rhododendron garden at the top of Carver's Gap is closed for renovations, but that's not stopping anything. Organizers instead want to take that energy and encourage visitors to explore the rest of the park and around town where you can still see the blooms. Flowers aside, it's not hard to have a great time anywhere along the mountain. You could even beef up your experience after the festival hanging out at the Appalachian Station at 19E. They've got a lengthy beer selection, a live concert hall for entertainment, and another hostel above it. Out of Roan Mountain, I'm Tavian Whitehurst.
The Rhododendron Festival at the end of the month is at Roan Mountain State Park the weekend of June 22nd and June 23rd. With so many attendees, though, trying to get into the state park at once, traffic could get backed up at times. So you are asked to be patient as everyone gets in and gets parked. But